Hello and welcome to Lost in Chronologically Lost, episode 23. I'm Matthew,
I'm David.
and today we're covering some episodes where Boone actually makes, a tough decision that he kind of handles maturely, while Shannon makes the worst decision.
I don't think it was the worst.
I do.
Okay, so where do we begin with this one?
Well, Boone is in a bad state. I mean, we see Jack taking care of him and his lung is collapsing, and Jack just stabs him to put a tube in, I guess. And I'm not a lung expert, but I'm pretty sure that's really bad.
Maybe it's to equalize the pressure or something. I don't know.
I figured he'd blow in the tube or something. I guess I get why they didn't show it on screen. But I think if you have to do that, they're in a bad state.
Yeah, I remember last episode you mentioned that, I wonder how, they're gonna save Boone. You seem to think he would survive this.
I mean, let's not beat around the bush. He dies, and I did think there was a good chance he would die, because,
Well, I think once this episode starts, it becomes clear.
Well, he doesn't have... I was just thinking he doesn't have that many flashbacks, and I know he's not there by the Season 5 time travel arc, which I have some... Later, I have some things to say about who's there or not that occurred to me. But, yeah, for now, it's just...
Okay, well first, I'm going to say, just because someone's not in a time travel arc doesn't mean they're not alive. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. But it's there was a soft piece of evidence that is also making me think about some other things. I'm not taking it as confirmation, it's just interesting.
Okay, yeah. So everyone's getting involved in this surgery. Jack tells them, I can fix it. So there's another thing of that. So what do you think the flashbacks were for this episode?
Was it more Shannon Boone flashbacks, or was it just another Jack flashback? Because sometimes an episode's plot feels really general, like it isn't super focusing on anyone in particular. And I think those tend to be Jack flashbacks, because when it's really general, it's really about Jack.
Yeah, it was Jack. It was his wedding flashbacks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. Again, they get... Even if the writing doesn't really make sense as much, they really make the flashbacks at least tie in more, I think, in later episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the wedding failed because he was too obsessed with trying to save people. But I would almost think that, the wedding would happen as a flashback alongside, Jack and Kate romance. Because, it's Jack's romantic life.
Yeah, that's true. Then we see Claire, who's clearly worried about having a baby on the island, because she's like, oh, how long do you think it'll take for rescue to come once you leave on the raft and everything? And It's like, oh, Claire, it's not going to matter. You're having this baby here.
Yeah. We also just get, Sawyer mentioning, how bad it is for Jin, how much his plight sucks, no one understands him, his wife's spoken English the whole time. Just, nice to see someone acknowledge.
Right. Kate goes and takes a bunch of Sawyer stuff to go fix Boone.
Charlie is asking Jack questions, and Jack is like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
and Son brings a stick to bite, and Jack thinks it's one of those herbal remedies, which I thought so
it's a
too.
stick, Jack.
The magic stick.
Yeah, so they set Boone's leg, which is just horrible sounding.
Yeah, and he screams, and he keeps screaming. He doesn't scream as they do it. He just keeps screaming and screaming because
Yeah. So then Kate's running back in the jungle, and she finds Claire in labor.
She just falls over for no reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, Claire is in labor. And I did want to mention here, Claire's amnesia really hasn't, mattered. It hasn't, changed much with her character. It was really just to keep the audience from getting answers.
Yeah. Again, her amnesia will be solved eventually, and we will see those flashbacks as, dreamy flashbacks.
Yeah.
But, the answer is so boring as to what happened to her, honestly. Don't even...
I figure I know, I'm not, expecting that big of an answer to the mystery. I figure it's just like, oh, she escaped from Ethan while they were still in the wilderness and never even made it to the others' camp, so she didn't see anything.
Yeah. Well,
And
I'm not gonna tell you what happened, but it's just not interesting.
I have my expectations along those lines, so my expectations are low.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sure feels like we're coming up close to the end of the season, what with Claire giving birth.
Yeah, you actually
And
asked me if this was the final season 1 episode, and it's like, oh, no. There's still more to go.
Well, I asked when I saw a certain thing, and then that thing didn't go the way I expected. Yeah, I feel like Kate is kind of now prioritizing taking care of Claire when I'm like, you still need to get that alcohol to Jack. You kind of just drop that when, like, Boone's also in serious danger with his life.
Yeah, Jack is trying to figure out how to do a blood transfusion because he's
Also,
on an island.
I also just really liked how Kate started screaming for help, and Jin hears it from a distance and comes and helps. It was like nice to see him taking it seriously, running to get there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we see Saeed and Shannon on a date.
Yeah, because that totally matters right now.
I think it does matter in her overall story.
I know. It does matter. It's showing that they're away and they don't know this is happening. And, it's their happiness to eventually get shit on. But I don't care about their picnic. But, Charlie found someone with an A blood type, and I was thinking, like, can't you just use someone with an O blood type? But Jack does ask if he found an O.
And we should mention that from in the 70s arc, we know that Kate is actually O negative. So she could have been the donor if she was there.
Huh. That would have helped. I'm shocked you remember that.
Yeah, I was thinking, I remember Kate says she's the universal donor. I'm like, why don't they use her in this episode? I'm like, oh, she never gets there when they're asking for blood.
Like I said, she really should have gone back to Jack, even if Claire needs help. It
wouldn't have mattered. Someone needed to be there for Claire.
Yeah, and then Sun got a sea urchin to use the needle from, which is actually pretty smart. Cool.
Yeah.
Jack is using his blood.
Then we get a time flash.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think we're going to skip through this because nothing that really happens in this time flash is important.
I think I asked a while it would be cool, like ages ago I thought it would be cool if some of the time flashes are during the main plot. And yeah, some are. That's cool.
Yeah, basically,
Charlotte
passed out, Locke saying,
also Miles remains great.
Yeah. We have a thing where, again, Locke is already like, oh, this is all happening because they left. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I think he says, like, he names, like, Jack, Sun, Saeed, Hurley, Kate. And that just makes me think, he doesn't say Michael. And some other names too, like Shannon. But, like, maybe they, like, is he just not naming everybody? Did those people die? Did something else happen to them? Did they leave the island, but that he just doesn't care about bringing them back? I don't know. I think
he named those people for a reason.
So maybe he has some reason to believe they're important. But, I mean, I figured people like Shannon and Michael just left the island and did not want to come back. But, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, Saeed didn't... We know Saeed didn't want to come back, but he still got there.
Yeah, I still have no idea what the circumstances of that were.
And you won't for a long time.
It's so weird to me that, like, time travel Saeed just felt like a different character, and I get that it's because he had been through a lot, but he just felt such, like, he was just always saying, like, oh, I'm a bad man, and just so concerned with that, and it just felt a lot different from the Saeed we see right now, who is, like, one of the leaders, a really reasonable, level-headed dude.
It'll make sense as you progress.
I mean, I'm sure it has continuity, it just does, it's interesting to me, like, how did he get that way?
Yeah, you'll see how he gets that way.
And I like present Saeed, and I want to see him get back to that eventually.
So Jack gives instructions about what to do for the birth because he can't leave Boone. And Claire's water breaks, and then Boone wakes up enough to say that he fell in a plane. And mentions the hatch, and that Locke said not to tell. So this is like This really is like, Locke, why couldn't you just tell people what happened? Like, he's so obsessed with his own secrets.
What's the reason? Like, I get that you don't want to tell everybody, but I've said before, just tell Jack, tell the leader squad. They can help with, like if you want to dig it up, that could use more people. Or just get some more minds on the problem. I get that you didn't want to tell the whole group of, 40, 60 people, I forget, but, it didn't need to be just you and Boone.
Yeah.
Also, I just remembered I did have a couple more things to say about the time travel bit. That there's a bit where Sawyer acts like a dick, and I'm just like, damn. Sawyer, 4 seasons later, still a dick.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And also, but then we also get Sawyer saying, it doesn't matter what I want, which is a little more mature. And I also just forgot to mention that Locke, is pretty sure that he says, the time travel shit is caused by the people who left the island. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the wheel caused that, dude.
Yeah, but Locke has a mystical way of looking at things.
I know. Anyway, yeah, Claire doesn't think she can have the baby. Jack can't come because he's busy giving blood. Right. And...
Well, before that, we see more of Saeed and Shannon on their date, and she says that Boone is in love with her, but that she's not in love with him, which is like, you're really picking the worst time to say these things, Shannon.
Jack has been giving a ton of blood to the point that Sun has to stop him from giving more, while Kate is, trying to deliver the baby. And Jack has figured out that the leg was crushed, it didn't fall, which, that's a key detail, because it turns out, if Locke told him the truth about what happened, maybe Jack could have treated him in a different way, and they could have saved him. Maybe not, but I think Jack is always gonna think maybe he could have.
Well, if again, this is just very basic thing, but if you know that it had been crushed as opposed to just fallen off and broken, then I think your number one thing would be to immediately stop the blood from pooling in his leg, and
I guess they would have
something.
Yeah, they just would have amputated way earlier.
I don't think they would have needed to amputate it necessarily right away. They could have tied it off to prevent the pooling.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Desmond time. He has a gun, he's drinking, and he starts reading the book he wanted to read as the last thing before he dies, and there's a letter from Penelope that makes him cry.
Yeah, because he thinks he's destroyed the world. He thinks there's nothing left.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's the point of this.
He thinks he destroyed everything.
Yeah.
He destroyed a plane.
He did, yeah, but the whole system failure thing happened, and he was told that it could, destroy the world. So he thinks that's what happened.
You think he thinks the bunker would still be there?
That's why after he reads the letter, he kind of goes into despair and starts yelling that it's all gone.
Yeah. I didn't get... Maybe I just needed to get it all, his backstory all at once to remember the detail, because I had kind of forgotten that while watching it.
Yeah.
But he hears banging, and Locke is banging on the hatch, because he's... after what happened, he thinks he says he did what the island wants, and it did this to him, and I get Locke's despair, because Locke has faith that he was doing what he was supposed to. But Desmond sees the banging, turns on the light, and Locke sees the light coming out of the hatch, and I just thought, this could be an end-of-season cliffhanger, because, they're not going to show the hatch opening up and Desmond coming out, so they're just going to show, a light comes out, and that's a mystery, but we have to wait till Season 2 to see why the light came out, and... No. Desmond turns on the light, but he doesn't, come out and say hi. And I was really confused by that.
Well, the real answer is that it's Season 1, and then they needed to go back.
Yeah. I pretty much...
It is a nice moment because...
Yeah, it's a nice moment for Desmond. It feels like...
Yeah, for Desmond, Locke bang on the hatch gave him the hope that the world out there still existed and was still real. And for Locke, him turning on the light was the sign that he's still doing the right thing.
Yeah. Which, on both sides individually, it works. But it's just the Season 1 writers really... J.J. Abrams was it'll be so mysterious if the light turns on in there and we don't know why. And then later they have to explain why it turned on. They're like, oh, Desmond heard the banging and turned on the light, and it just leaves the hole of why wouldn't Desmond come say hi.
Yeah, this is funny too because obviously the hatch is so iconic. It's in a lot of things, and I know in there's a video game Just Cause 2 where they have a mysterious island, and on that island you can go find the hatch, and I believe if you shoot at it, the light will turn on. And I believe even in Grand Theft Auto 5, underwater, there's a hatch, and if you swim near it, the light will turn on.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and also, just a funny thing that I found out recently is so, Desmond is here because he was trying to circle the globe in a sailing boat and got shipwrecked and got trapped on this island. And his love interest is Penny, or Penelope, which is also the name of Odysseus' wife.
Oh, yeah! Oh, shit! Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Wow. I never would have remembered that. Yeah, that's cool detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, does he get an arc of needing to win her back from
from
other people
108 suitors?
Yeah, and he has to shoot an arrow through the holes.
No, I'm not joking. That's in the tale. She had 108 suitors.
No, I know. I'm saying, is Desmond gonna have to do that?
So we go back to the Time Flash people when they see the hatch light, and Locke's like, "Yeah, let's not go over there."
Yeah, don't break the timeline.
Yeah, Jack wants to amputate
Daniel
Boone's
tried
leg.
to break the timeline. Yeah, which, using the cargo container, that is pretty metal. You're on a magic island, it could always just randomly heal your legs.
Claire is, really afraid now to actually have this baby.
Yeah.
So and I do actually like this whole storyline for Kate, because Kate's whole thing is, something goes bad, she runs away. But this was something goes bad, and she has to absolutely stay there.
Yeah, I guess. you really can't run away from that. But, I gotta say, birth scenes kind of bore me for the same reason wedding scenes do.
Why are you so against nice things happening to people?
Because it's like... Okay, first of all, some people would say that birth is not a nice thing.
Okay, but this is a good thing that happens to Claire. Let's be clear on that.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make that point, though I actually am not against kids. But it's just the same vibe where every single one of those scenes goes the same. You know exactly what's going to happen in a birth scene. You have the mother struggling and the people saying, push, push. And then it comes out and they're like, oh, I'm so happy now. It looks adorable and the baby looks fucking gross.
Well, I mean, not always. I mean, we had birthing scenes on the show that didn't go so well. One of them ended in an immediate murder. A lot of other ones just ended with the mom dying. So this was the first finally good one.
Yeah, but that's fair. Lost birth scenes are not all the same. But in general, a lot of birth scenes are really similar, and I've seen this before. But we also get Jack saying, like, don't tell me what I can't do, in a very Locke vibe.
Yeah, that was very much a, oh shit, like, maybe don't say that, Jack.
Yeah, because let's be real, there are things Locke can't do.
He's gonna go amputate Boone's leg, and then Boone says not to. He's like, there's no chance. I'm already dead at this point.
Yeah, which is a difficult but mature decision by Boone, because I'm like Jack. I always think save as much life as possible. If there's a chance, you have to go for it. But I get being the one who has to be saved and just say, you know what, like, don't even worry, it's too late, I accept it.
Yeah, especially because Jack's like, I'm going to amputate your leg. And then Boone's like, look at where we are. Like, a fresh amputee is going to die from infection here. Like,
it honestly got me kind of sad. Like, Boone, I don't know. He wasn't my favorite character, and I will always remember Boone as the man who got them one of the most important plot progression moments by fumbling a flashlight that was tossed to him. That sums Boone up.
I mean, everything and even in this, he died trying to radio them for rescue. Like, did it work?
Yeah,
No.
he did
but
his best.
He did his best.
Also, this comes up later, but I found it funny how, like, nobody else heard, though. We're the survivors, so that's really only for the audience.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But anyway, he did his best, and it made me sad to see him die. And I always feel more sad, like, when I see people react to the sad thing.
Yeah.
Boone dying is sad. Seeing Shannon and Saeed get told that he died, that's really sad.
Yeah, especially because Boone didn't even get to finish his last words, which, I mean, obviously anyone can tell what they were, but still.
Yeah.
We also have the time flash people. Sawyer sees Kate as she's delivering the baby. So this is where that whole thing of, how did it feel to see Kate again? This is how he saw her again through time travel.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it seems like, that... For a moment, I thought that the birth was hitting Sawyer emotionally, like, oh, wow, he's kind of amazed at the beauty of life being born.
No, it was Kate.
And maybe there was something there, but then I realized, no, this is just Kate. Goddamn love triangle. Sawyer and Juliet, much better.
So then we get an actual good music montage, because it's using the actual score of the show
Which, it was an effective sad song. That was part of what got me legitimately sad at this death.
Yeah, and so, lots of people are crying, and then Jack says, Boone didn't die, he was murdered. So...
Yeah, which, I get why he thinks that. It isn't true, and I'm glad that he figures that out. This is a terrible time to say it, but what the hell kind of name is Boone?
Like Daniel Boone.
Well, yeah, it's a last name. Like, what kind of... Like that, yeah, his mom's a rich white lady, names her kid a last name, because that's what they do.
Right, so moving on to this next episode here, we see, Shannon is clearly mourning, and Jack is very angry that Locke did not tell him how the injury happened, because he feels that led to Boone's death.
Yeah, Kate is insisting this is not a good idea, though. And she's right. Searching for him in the middle of the jungle while you're anemic is not a good idea.
No, it is not.
And I was still wondering here, like, did Locke meet Desmond? And it was really weird to me that he didn't.
No, he did not. They have a funeral for Boone where Saeed gives a eulogy. And then Locke shows up and kind of just ruins it.
This is so painfully awkward. Oh my god, and it's the worst time ever, and he keeps explaining more and more details, and none of them make it better.
Yeah, so, Jack attacks him, and then passes out.
Yeah, he's sure that Locke is lying, hiding something.
Jack won't sleep, because he's just so angry, and Claire won't sleep, because she's afraid to have to hand off the baby to someone.
Yeah, and Locke goes to talk to Shannon, and I'm just like, don't try to give sage advice, Locke. Don't.
Yeah, he gives Boone's bag to her, says he's sorry, and then Shannon basically goes to Saeed and asks him to kill Locke.
Which, Shannon, you...
No, I'm actually 100% on board. Like,
No, how? It wasn't
Locke's fault. If he had just said he fell from a plane and had been crushed, I think Jack could have saved him.
Okay, the accident wasn't Locke's fault. I understand what Locke was going through.
No, yeah, the accident wasn't his fault, but giving the faulty medical information was his fault.
I don't think Locke was even considering at the time that would affect the treatment.
Exactly, Locke wasn't even considering Boone. He just fucked off to the hatch.
No, he wasn't.
He did go do that.
It was a mistake. I think, sure, okay, he was concerned with other things, but saying what the injury was, I think it's understandable that when you're not a medical expert, you wouldn't realize how important that was. I think it was a mistake.
Exactly, so if you had just said the truth, then it would have been fine.
I don't think Locke deserves to die for this, especially not as revenge.
I think it's... I 100% get Shannon here. I'm like, okay, yeah, he killed her brother. Let's get this revenge going.
People don't deserve to die for this kind of thing. No.
Anyways, do you have any idea what the flashbacks for this one were?
Them having sex?
We already did that one. It wasn't a Shannon and Boone flashback.
Okay, was it Kate
Nope.
doing, okay, I have no
It was
idea.
Saeed in Australia.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, there are things to tie in there.
So Kate forces Jack to rest by drugging him. We see that
Also,
Walt is now afraid of
I
Locke.
just gotta say, so you are pro Shannon's revenge.
I'm usually just pro revenge in any
Saeed-
story.
Okay, yeah, that is true. I'll give you that. But I'm just thinking, okay, Saeed, I know that you're horny for her. Don't kill a man for her. Do not be blinded by your horniness and kill a man. And I'm really glad that Saeed was reasonable.
Yeah. Saeed asks Locke about the kidney scar, which Locke says is a war wound, which is like all these lies.
That's a really unnecessary lie. You could just say, I gave someone a kidney. Like, that doesn't make you seem weak. That makes you seem like a good
You
person.
can literally just say, "Oh, it's from I had a surgery," and that's. So Saeed gets taken to the plane by saying, "Oh, we could use it for electronic parts," and then he starts giving obvious interrogation to Locke.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that Saeed goes to talk to Locke and doesn't just try to kill him in the jungle. I like that Locke just calls out that he's being interrogated, and Saeed believes him that there's a plane. He can tell that that's the truth. And there it is, and I just find it funny, like, it's something so ridiculous that it's nice for, like, other characters to see that Locke wasn't lying.
Well, he wasn't lying, but then he was lying about there being a plane in the first place, and then now is like, "Oh yeah, no, there's a plane."
Well, yeah, but I get that once you're saying something that's hard to believe, I like when it does get believed because it's real.
Right. We also see that the baby won't stop crying.
I don't care about this.
I mean, it's the funny storyline for
I
this
don't
episode.
care about this. I don't care about this.
Why do you just hate fun, honestly?
It's not fun. Okay, it was kind of funny later on when Sawyer's voice calms the baby. I don't care about this scene.
So Saeed asks why Locke lied, and
Saeed tastes the heroin.
yeah, and he also gets Locke's gun. And then we have Locke revealing that he was the one who hit Saeed all those episodes ago.
Which, yeah, that one's a yikes, Locke. I don't.
So yeah, there's a thing where
honestly, did the writers know it was Locke back then?
I think so.
All right, I think that's whack.
It is very whack, and here's the thing. So like,
well, it's whack that he's the one that whacked him.
You know, we've seen Season 5 Locke, and people love Season 5 Locke. But in the earlier seasons, people were very mixed on Locke because of, stuff like this.
Honestly, the thing about that is that it's one of those things that I could choose to get deep into the mindset of how the characters feel and what they know at this point of the story, but I haven't bothered to do that, so I'm just kind of going off of it knowing that this doesn't matter, but also knowing that if they found where it was being broadcast from, it also would have been fine. So I'm just like, yeah, that was probably not actually that important, Locke, but also it's not that big of a deal.
But that's
anyway.
just the reason Locke gives. That's obviously not the reason why he did it. He did it because he thinks they should stay on the island.
Well, yeah, but also that wouldn't have gotten them off the island or anything.
But it might have, and I think that's what Locke was worried about. And then that's his justification is, oh, well, you wouldn't want to go to the broadcast because of saying everybody's dying and everything.
Alright, that's fair. That he was lying about his intentions. I just figured if he wanted people to stay on the island, he just would have said that to Saeed. But I guess he hasn't really been open about that.
Especially because everybody else wants off the island. So, Saeed threatens to shoot him, and demands to know what the hatch is, to which Locke lies about.
He just pretends it's the plane.
Yeah.
And Saeed knows it's a lie now. I think he's just waiting to confront him about it later.
Yeah, so Shannon finds a picture of her and Boone, and Saeed goes to tell her, I really think it was just an accident.
'Cause it was.
Okay, yes, him falling from a plane, was that an accident? Yes. Locke giving the wrong medical info, was that an accident? No, that was a deliberate act.
That doesn't mean Locke deserves to die.
Well, he doesn't deserve any rewards for it.
Okay, I think that not being shot is a neutral thing, not a
But
reward.
no, his reward was the hatch light and everything. Like,
okay, but that was. I mean, it's not like anybody else even knows about that.
but he knows, and he
Why does
thinks,
that have to
and
come
he's
in?
using that's his justification for it, that everything he's doing is right.
Alright, that is pretty whack. Still doesn't deserve to die.
So they're building a raft, and Walt starts asking, what if a shark attacks?
Shark attack!
So do you think there's going to be a shark attack with the raft?
Does it matter?
Well, no, but... and then he asks, what if we die? And Michael says, well, we're not going to die. And he goes, Boone died. Like, this is also a thing. So remember all those episodes ago where Boone was telling Locke what red shirts are? Because they're the people who go out and they die. And what was Locke's response? Sounds like a piss poor captain. So, even by Locke's own logic, it is kind of his fault that Boone died.
I don't see Locke as a captain. So
He was okay, come on, he was like Boone's captain. Let's be real.
Alright.
Then we have Sawyer's voice making the baby stop crying.
I don't see what the baby sees in it.
So Shannon steals the gun keys to go get a gun and kill Locke. And I do like she's holding up Locke, and Saeed goes, you've never fired a gun before, so she immediately shoots. It's like, okay, well.
I think that Shannon is being cringe here.
What? No, Shannon is being based here.
No, cringe.
So she is, but she goes through with it. She doesn't have I can't do it. She literally tries to shoot him, but Saeed just tackles her in time.
But Saeed tackles her, and Shannon is gonna feel so betrayed by Saeed here. She's gonna break up with him. She's gonna be like, I couldn't rely on you at the most important moment. And I'm just like, no, Saeed, yeah, you kept her from killing a man who didn't deserve to die. Yeah, that's more important than whether you were horny for each other.
No, I was on board with her revenge plan, so I get her frustrations, especially because it makes her feel like, again, that she can't do anything. Like, Boone died and she couldn't do anything about that, and now she can't even, avenge him.
Avenging people doesn't make you happy.
But she doesn't know that.
Doesn't accomplish it. It doesn't accomplish anything. No, it accomplishes something when they're such a bad person that you're like, you know what, this is necessary. Like if a serial killer is the one you want revenge on, go for that revenge.
Okay, so Saeed says he made a mistake in stopping Shannon right afterwards, so...
And that's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying, because I think that was not remotely a mistake.
No, it was a mistake, honestly. Then he demands to be taken to the hatch. So that's kind of where that episode ended. So now we're starting the next one.
We start with me just thinking, oh god, oh no, Charlie has his guitar out.
Yeah, he's thinking that his records are platinum now because he's died in a plane crash.
I'll give him that. That will be good for his career. Probably even better for his career than if he made good music.
Yeah, and, says to Kate, don't you want to be famous? Which is So want to guess what the flashbacks were for this?
Yeah. This was where Kate came up. I mixed up which episode was which when I said it might have been a Kate episode. But this is... Do we see what her actual crime here, or were they still holding out
on that?
Then is it how she killed the guy she loved, or is it that she left?
It was her and Tom and that whole thing.
Tom's the one with the plane, right? Not the police.
No,
officer.
That's a season 3 whack flashback.
Yeah, that felt not as necessary to her arc.
Yeah.
But anyway, the science teacher is saying we shouldn't launch because this monsoon wind stuff, and they gotta go ASAP. And it's kind of an interesting way to say we need to go as soon as possible or else it won't work. And then we get is the next bit a webisode?
Yes.
Then we get a webisode saying that was complete bullshit.
And then, yeah, we finally get his hilarious backstory where he went to Sydney to meet a woman on the internet who left him in the middle of the restaurant. He was like, I couldn't even return the lobster.
No. Because I was thinking, oh, he went to meet someone online. He's going to get catfished. No, he was catfishing her.
Yeah, because he used the other.
He used his friend's photo. And the whole time, Michael is just sitting there like, oh my god, I want to leave. And I'm with Michael there. Like,
yeah.
I don't care, dude. But
it's funny.
So did the writers, like, write the whole monsoon wind thing and then get called out that was, like, fake science, so they explained it by saying that the guy was lying because he wanted to leave?
Maybe. I don't know about...
That's what it felt
I don't know how monsoons work, so...
Well, it just felt like they were, like, retconning it that he was lying to explain why that was completely wrong. Anyway, Kate also just wants to get on the raft because she wants to kick Sawyer off. Because...
Well, that's not why. That's...
No, yeah. But, yeah, she wants to be able to get away without being caught as a criminal, which, understandable, you know. I don't think we gotta, like, debate the morality of Kate's actions here. I understand exactly why she's desperate. Also, the thing is, on some level, it's like, yeah, fuck Sawyer right now. But on the other hand, it's like kicking someone off the raft who made a proper deal to get on there.
But as Kate points out, that was for the old raft.
Well, yeah, but it's still a pretty big dick move.
Yeah, and Sun's talking to Jin and he's on the raft because he knows sailing and fishing and everything.
Yeah, just foreshadowing for the real answer to the mystery.
Yeah. Saeed...
I didn't see coming, which it was good.
Yeah, Saeed brings Jack to the hatch because, you know, finally they're filling people in.
And they kind of... Well, let's see what happens first. It's, Michael does want to replace Sawyer, and I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely do not care at all who ends up on the raft. I feel that it does not matter.
No, it's gonna be important for the plot.
Okay, maybe, but like it'll be important for the plot, like, short term, but I feel like not long term. Like, I feel like it's just gonna be whoever's on the raft is gonna have their own side plot and return at some point, and that'll be important at the time, but once we're past the raft, it's not gonna matter.
Well, it doesn't mean it's not important.
I don't know, it was hard for me to care who ends up on the raft.
Anyway, we have Kate burning the drowned woman's ID in order to pass off as her. And, you know, she and Sawyer argue about getting a spot on the raft, and she does have a pretty good line where she says, you know, I want your spot, I'll get your spot. Like,
I don't know how buoyant Bamboo is, and I think Michael is very reasonable in being conservative about this, but I don't know, I look at that raft and I think it could fit more than 4 people in terms of buoyancy.
But it also has to have enough supplies for 4 people for the trip.
Oh, yeah, true, supplies. Yeah, alright, that's fair then. I didn't consider that.
Yeah, so...
But then Michael suddenly gets sick.
Like, yeah, well, first Walt says, like, oh, well, we're going to come back for everyone, right? And Michael says, well, yeah, but finding the island again once we leave might be really hard, so...
Which, that is true. And, like, the thing about that is, like, I feel like, okay, maybe I'm kind of looking at this with a 2021 mindset, where, you know, this is the early 2000s, technology was, like, in terms of, like, satellites and stuff might not have been as advanced, but I think, as far as they know, it should be possible to find the island, and yet, Michael actually is right. He just doesn't know why.
So, yeah, and then he starts feeling the effects of the poison that was accidentally given to him.
Jack is wondering why Locke never told him about the hatch, and we get this whole theme equivocating how, like, oh, Jack doesn't tell people about things, Jack keeps things on a need-to-know basis too, and, like, yeah, but with all of those, I think Jack has a good reason for it.
And none of those led to anyone's death. I mean, I guess technically the guns caused Ethan's death, but I don't think anyone's complaining about that one.
That's Ethan.
Yeah.
That's Ethan. But, so, like, Also, Jack didn't keep things to like two people. Jack had a reasonable inner circle to make decisions and people who could call him out on his own decisions. Whereas I'm not asking Locke to tell everyone. I'm just asking Locke to tell, the inner circle.
So Saeed says that they should just bury it and they should just ignore the hatch because,
Which...
Because Jack says,
one of those...
best case scenario, there's supplies. Worst case, it's a shelter. And so he's like, there are much worse things that could be in there.
Yeah, see, Saeed isn't technically wrong, but again, it's one of those things where I know enough to know that they might as well open it.
Right, but, I mean, think about this. There is another Dharma station that we know of. I don't think we've ever seen it. But it's been mentioned that, like, Goodwin works there. That is just full of dangerous chemicals that could kill everyone on the island. So it's like, if they had found that hatch, maybe the best scenario would be to just bury it and leave it alone, right?
I guess. I mean, the chemicals are going to be in containers, right? I feel like you just have to not fuck up.
Yeah, still though.
I guess. Well, the thing is, Boone is dead, so we don't have to worry about Boone tripping over it and letting the chemicals out.
Yeah, we have to worry about Locke thinking it's his destiny to release the chemicals. So Jack gets called back to figure out what's wrong with Michael. He can't figure it out. He thinks, maybe it was, something in the water. And there's a whole thing. It's like, Sawyer poisoned me. No, Kate poisoned me to frame Sawyer.
Why would do that? Yeah. The thing is, when he looks at the water, it looks like something's in. I'm like, wow, is there mold in the water? And for a second, I think, is this going to be like another early island survival plot? Like, we had mold in our water supply. But then it's like, no, this is poison.
Yeah. Hurley starts blabbing about Kate being a convict.
I also should mention I should have considered as like one of the clues to the mystery is who would know what plants to pick to poison someone. Sun.
Yep. We have Charlie and Claire talking about what to do when they're rescued.
Well, also, I liked that Hurley scene though. I just wanted to mention the thing before, but I liked the Hurley scene because he just like, how am I supposed to keep track of who knows what? Steve didn't even know about the polar bear.
Yeah.
And Hurley is the voice of the people. I do not care about the Claire and Charlie scene.
Oh, come on. You're so against everything. Like, we can complain about the love triangle, but when there's an actual healthy relationship, you're against that.
You got me there. I mean, it's certainly not as healthy as, like, Rose and Bernard.
Okay, but they're on different ends of an island right now. This is a relationship where the two people are actually there.
Okay, yeah, but he's writing music, like, At least she's fixing his hair, because his hair is getting worse and worse. At least she's helping with that. Which is like half the problem I have with Charlie.
My God. Okay. So Walt goes to tell Locke, he's like, I didn't do it. And then Locke's like, yeah, I know you didn't.
Well, wait, also Kate asks Jack how Michael is, and Jack is like, did you poison him? And Kate's like, do you really think I'm capable of that? And the reason I know that Kate's Season 3 flashback is one of those very out-of-place, unnecessary ones, and I think I knew that was a Season 3 flashback.
But she absolutely is capable of that, because she did it. She did it once.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I thought maybe that was this episode's flashback, because, yeah, you drugged your husband, and also you drugged Michael like yesterday, or drugged Jack like yesterday.
Yeah, but those were just like sleeping things. They weren't painful.
Okay. But yeah.
Stuff. And to be fair, she openly admitted when she did it to both of them. They're like, what's happening? And she immediately goes, yeah, I put sleeping pills in your thing. It's fine.
Yeah, but just Kate being like, I would never.
I would never poison someone and then lie about it.
Yeah, you would never. I mean, yeah.
I would just be straight up with my poisoning.
Yeah, no, she wouldn't poison Michael. She would blow up Michael's house.
And then Walt looks at Locke and he says, don't open it. Which is like
Walt is a magic child. He knows things, and he's acting like the hatch is going to be evil. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, Desmond is kind of but I don't think he's evil.
Oh, come on. People love Desmond.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't think he's evil.
Yeah, this is a weird thing where, like, there's another... Look, this is going to be another really important thing that Walt says at some point in the future that also makes no sense. Because I was like, opening this opening the hatch. What's wrong with that? Like, you find Desmond, and
Yeah. You find Desmond and a facility that doesn't really do anything now.
what do you mean it doesn't really do anything now?
And, like, I guess they still have to do the thing.
Desmond is
But,
still
like,
pushing that button.
Alright. Well, anyway, like... So,
Sawyer brings Pepto-Bismol to Michael, who then
I
kicks
just
him
wanted
right
to
off the
say-
raft.
Wait. Sorry, I was stuttering out my words, but I just wanted to say... I had many disagreements with Desmond in the past, but right now I'm rooting for him. Once he got stuck in this hatch, once he got stuck in this facility and he's stuck there, I'm rooting for him. I feel bad for him. He misses Penelope. I don't have complaints with Desmond anymore.
Okay, that's good. But yeah, so then Sawyer brings Pepto to Michael, who's like, yeah, you're off the raft. And then Sawyer outs Kate as a criminal to everyone.
Which is... The thing is, on some level, it's just a satisfying scene to me, because it's like, the truth is revealed, and he's like, proving it, because she took the ID, and it's evidence, so it's like, ooh, it's like, you know, it's like when the detective explains the crime, but when you look any deeper past that, and also she confesses, which is cool, but like, look any deeper past that, and it's like, this was completely unnecessary, Sawyer. You really just fucked her over for nothing.
He wants that spot on the raft.
Yeah, but still, you really fucked her over. You're really making everyone think of her as a criminal now.
Yeah, so Kate admits that she is the criminal, but that she didn't poison Michael, because Sun poisoned Michael by accident, trying to poison Jin. Because she didn't want him to leave.
Also, yet another reason Kate should have no reason to like Sawyer.
Yeah, there's a lot of those reasons piling up, huh? You'd think that would weigh in.
You'd think that would affect how you see someone.
Yeah, you'd think that this love triangle wouldn't just keep going.
But yeah, Sun didn't want Jin to go. Got Michael by accident. Makes sense.
So Kate asks Sawyer why he needs to be on that raft so bad. And he says there's nothing on the island worth staying for. Which...
Yeah, but he'd
I will say, we're going to get more as to why Sawyer wanted to be on this raft.
Because I'm pretty sure he would want to stay for Kate.
Yeah.
Also, like, I just like how the Sun... Jack's saying he won't tell anybody about Sun having been the one to poison. It ties into the whole leaders going about what people need to know that this episode is really about with Jack and Locke.
Well, it's also like, you know, Sun should be the one to tell her husband that she poisoned him.
Oh, she's gonna tell him?
I don't even remember if she does, but, you know, that's something she should tell him.
I kind of... If I was in her position, I guess if she really wants him to stay so bad that she's gonna be like, please stay, I'm going to admit the truth, I poisoned you because I wanted you to stay so badly, then that's fair. But if she's gonna do it as part of trying to make him stay, then sure. But if she's not gonna do that, I would be like, well, I will never speak of this again, no one will know.
Yeah, Walt tells Michael that he burnt the first raft, and then Michael says, you know, we don't have to go, but Walt says, yes, we do.
Michael is being a good parent here. Like, he is willing to make that sacrifice for what Walt wants. And he's not mad. And that is, like, he has grown a lot as a parent. But of course, Walt has to be the magic child who's like, oh no, we need to go, this island's evil.
Yeah, and then, sort of the end of the episode, turns out that the poisoning was actually Kate's idea. They worked together on that.
Yeah.
So next time
Kate
time will be the season 1 finale. So do you have any thoughts for that?
I don't really know what's gonna happen. I mean, I guess the raft is probably gonna leave. I guess the finale might have, like, the raft leaving more so than it has, like, what the raft gets to. Unless maybe it's, like, the start of the episode the raft leaves, the end of the episode we see what the raft gets to. But I don't know. I mean, the tension has been kind of rising. We got some stuff with the hatch progressing. We got, like, Claire giving birth. The tension rose, but I don't really know, like, what climax it's building to. I don't know, like, what's gonna happen. Like, we already got the birth. I guess maybe more might happen with the others. That's kind of seems like the big thing that you could do a finale with here.
Yep. Okay.
But I don't know what's going to happen with the others, really. Maybe we'll see Claire's dream because we're going to start getting more answers about the others anyway, so we can get that information now. Maybe yeah, I don't know, like there's all these plot lines where it's like it doesn't, like, there's nothing they're about to do. It's like I talked about a few episodes. This is a very reactive show where the characters are trying to survive, so they're reacting to the struggles of surviving on the island, but they're not being active. Other than, I mean, there's exceptions, but as the general idea, they're not like constantly moving forward with a goal. So because of that, there's no goal for me to say, oh well, this is going to happen in the finale, or for me to say this is going to go wrong in the finale. Something's going to happen to them, and I guess my big one is the others, but no idea beyond that.
Okay. Well, I hope you'll join us next time, where we will be covering episodes 42 and 43, both entitled Day 44.